there are some cool thoughts on how to do that. There have been attempts to lure in UFOs with nuclear weapons.
Really?
Yes.
There have been attempts to like fake that we're going to use, bait them.
Bait them.
Really?
Yes.
How do you know this?
Well, we'll talk about how I know that later, but it is true.
You can't say how you know it?
No, it's not, some of the people I talk with have told me about these.
Right.
So people I trust that are in a position to know.
And have they told you can't talk about this?
Yeah,
or
like
you can't
the
divulge
basic,
your sources?
Yeah, there we go. The basics is 14 out of 14 times or something. I might be getting that number wrong. That there was a way to bait every single time these UFOs would come in when they were transporting nuclear weapons or something like that. Now, if that information is true, then you would have a method. You would have a way to study this. Right. See, I think we're reinventing the wheel so much. Like Avi Loeb at Harvard, and NASA just. I think this is true. NASA just announced they're going to repurpose their satellites to look for UFOs. I think that's a real article, Jamie. If you can find that,
repurpose their satellites.
That's my word, repurpose. But yeah, NASA made an announcement that they're going to kind of repurpose their satellites.
Look at that.
To look for. Is that
NASA
correct?
wants to turn satellites into alien hunters.
There we go.
That's just from a couple weeks ago.
Cool.
Wow.
It's not, my memory's been so bad.
No,
you're
dead on, brother.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah.
NASA is looking to repurpose satellites. You said it perfectly.
Okay.
This is fucking crazy. Asked why the space agency is embarking on such a seemingly fringe subject, it said one of its remits is to look for life outside of Earth. Fascinating. Okay, so last month, the U.S. Space Agency announced it was launching an 8-month inquiry into investigate hundreds of unexplained UFO sightings. The inquiry is being held by Dr. Thomas. What's with all these names? Zurbuchen? How do you say that? What do you think?
Zurbuchen.
Dr. Thomas Zurbuchen of NASA's Science Mission Directorate, who has been investigating whether satellites in space could be repurposed to give another view on strange aerial phenomena reported from Earth. Speaking to journalists in London this week, Colonel Pam Melroy, the deputy administrator of NASA, said, the team is going to be looking at questions like, do we have sensors that can see things? Take another look at the evidence. One of the big questions that Thomas asked is, we have a ton of satellites looking down at Earth. Are any of them useful? I mean, before you build a rover that's going to Mars, you ask yourself, what's a sensor I have to build to detect the most interesting things? So they're really going to focus on that. Wow. We'll scroll up there. How would you get the evidence you need to be able to determine if it's an optical phenomena or some other kind of phenomena? Even the greatest scientists were ridiculed. Bill Nelson, a NASA administrator, told journalists that he had read all the classified documents relating to UFOs and was convinced that nobody knew what they were. Questioned as to why NASA was embarking on such a seemingly fringe subject, Nelson said that one of the space agency's remits was to hunt for life outside of Earth, and that in the past, even the greatest scientists have been disbelieved and ridiculed. Remember that one of our missions is to reach out to see if there is life, he said. That's why we're digging on Mars right now. Is the possibility of life in something as big as the universe? Of course, there's a chance in somewhere as big as that, conditions similar to Earth existed, and some other kind of life form developed.
It kind of drives me crazy, though, that they're like, oh, we're going to repurpose our satellites and look for UFOs. It's my understanding that we can well track UFOs. Think about NORAD, and you can, the joke is you can't throw a softball in our atmosphere without it being tracked and targeted. Mm-hmm. It's my understanding, like, what else captured the Tic Tacs above 80,000 feet? Did we have any other optic systems or targeting systems that captured those Tic Tacs? Because the Spy 1 saw it at 80,000. My understanding.
What is the Spy 1?
A Spy 1 radar is a radar that was in that strike group where Commander Fravor was, doing workups. It's just a very cool radar that in 2004 was, relatively new, I think, at that year. And it was just it's a phase array, so it's just a fucking cool piece of technology that they were using. but I think it goes up to only 80,000. So when they say they were dropping in from 80,000 down to sea level like that, they were actually coming from higher.
Right. They just detected it when it hit 80.
And they say with the spy one,